thank you for looking at my spreadsheet. Hopefully it is helpful for you. I've been using a version of a spreadsheet like this since my freshman year of high school, and it has been extremely helpful for me with ADHD. So, in this video, I'm just going to set up my spreadsheet, and hopefully that'll help you to be able to set up your own. So the first thing we're going to do is make a copy of this. So just File, up in the corner here, make a copy. And I've already made a copy, so let's just go to that one, right there. So I have this copy right here. I've labeled it Fall 2025 assignments for myself. And, you know, I don't think I'm going to need to look at this sheet, so what do? I click this little arrow here. I can click Hide Sheet, and it goes away. It'll give you instructions here on how to retrieve it, but just View, Hidden Sheets, how to use. Right. I know that I won't need this sheet. I know how to do all these things in here, so I'm just going to click the arrow and I'm going to delete it instead. Okay, so now we go to assignments. So I've already started putting in some of my assignments here. And the first thing that I want to do is make sure I have all my classes in. So I'm just going to click any of these little drop downs here, little arrows, right, in the class section, and I'm going to click this little pencil. That brings up this pop-up on the side. And let's say I'm taking another class. History 101, right? One thing to note is you can format this however you want. If you want to type out your class names, you can do that, right? You can do whatever you want. If you type that and it's too long, then you can just always make this bigger, right? So you can just drag up here, or between the B and the C, and just click and hold and drag, right? But let's say I want to format it like this. And I want to change the color to this color. I'm click done. And it's going to ask me this. I'm going to click apply to all. And what that means is that if I click here, it's there. If I click here, it's there, right? It's everywhere now. It's in all these boxes. So the next thing is I'm going to type these in. So I've already started typing them in. And you might notice here, so let's open this up fully. Here, it's missing the date. Here it's completed, so that's why it goes away. If it's not started, it's still there. But this one, it hasn't been done, and it doesn't tell me. And if we are on the cell, that's what these little boxes are called, the cells, then we'll notice there's nothing up here. But if we click on any of these, there's something up there. Even the ones that look blank down here, there's still something up there. So this might happen if you add a new row or if you accidentally backspace on this. But super easy fix. All you need to do is grab any of these cells that do have the like writing in it up top here, and I'm gonna hold this little circle, click, hold, drag. And as you can see here, like it's fine if it's here and then I like drag it over that one. If I drag it down here, totally fine. But let's look at this one. So this one isn't filling in, even though it has the date and it has the text up here. So why isn't it doing that? That's because it still relies on the time value. So you just need something in this time due column. So maybe I'm gonna do maybe I don't care, so I'm just gonna do 12 a.m. for all of them. You know, if I really wanted to, I could just do 12 a.m. for all of them, and it doesn't matter. But you know, this I want it to be due at 11 a.m. Oh, it's missing. Whoops. You know, the next thing is, so let's say that these are all going to be due at 2:35, and I don't really want to have to click 2:35, type it in the whole time, right? So I can just Control C, copy, Control V, paste. Just copy and paste, right? Put them all in. Because these are all going to be due at the same time. The next thing is, over here, these are also all for the same class, and I don't want to have to click this drop down every time. So again, Control C, and I'm just going to click and drag. I make sure I'm holding when that happens, because if I just click and then I drag, that it doesn't do anything, right? So I'm going to click, hold, drag to highlight the cells, and Control C, and I have Control V. It's all there, right? Way easy. If I go here, not started, let's say I haven't started any of these, I can do the exact same thing. Control C, Control V. If I click on these, like Everything's fine. I can change it if I need to, right? Works just great. One thing that I do with the target dates is sometimes it's kind of annoying to have to type in all of the target dates if you have a lot of assignments, like me. So what I do is, these are all readings, for example, for this one class. And let's say that I know that I want to complete my readings 2 days before they're due. I'm always going to do them 2 days before class. So I'm just going to do a pretty simple formula. I'm going to click equals, and I'm going to take the date, and I want it 2 days before. So -2. Enter. And what that does is, this is 2 days before. Let's say I want it 5 days before. And does that. Let's say that I want it 10 days before. And it already fills it in as the date. It knows that that's in August, right? So let's go back to 2. And I want this to apply to all of these. So the computer is very smart, and we appreciate it, because I can just take this little circle, click, drag, and I can pull it all the way down. And look, for this one, it's taken this value right here, and it's taken 2 days off of that. So that's one thing that's really helpful. The next thing I'm going to do here is, I don't really use this priority tab because it gives me an excuse to not do assignments, so I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm just going to click this little arrow up top here, and click delete column. Now it's gone. I don't really know about this weight column. Maybe I want it, but I don't really know if I want it, and I don't want to delete it just in case, so I'm just going to click this little arrow and I'll click hide. Now it's between these little arrows here, so I can look at it, but if I don't want to look at it anymore, I can just do the same thing, hide, right? It's gone. Now, let's look at the due dates to figure out the color coding. So right now, I have these colors. They're a little ugly. I don't want them. I want different colors. So let's go over here. So I only have 3 classes. This is automatically going to fill in with your classes from the assignments tab here that you've entered. So this is, I set up the spreadsheet so you can put in up to 10 classes without it starting to mess up on you. So the next thing I'm going to do is, if you look at the instructions here, go to the due dates tab, and I'm going to highlight all the cells. So I'm going to click this little box, and that makes everything blue. Yay! And I'm going to click format up here, conditional formatting. And this opens up this big thing on the side. There's so much stuff going on. Oh no. But let's look. So this is rainbow, and this is rainbow. And right now they're corresponding. So this is matching class 1, this is matching class 2, this is matching class 3. So let's say that I want this to instead be blue, to match what's going on over here. So I want that to be blue. But how do I make the assignments turn blue? Well, when I go over here, so we know that class 1 was this color before, right? So I'm going to click on that. First one was class 1. I'm going to change this to blue. Yay, and now it matches. So my Econ 213 class, I want that to be green. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, if I click the green thing here, see how the green is currently corresponding to class 5? I don't want to click that, right? So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete it, because I know I'm not going to use it. I'm not using any of these, I'm just using the first 3. So I'm going to just delete all the ones from the bottom, and I'm just left with 3, right? These 3. If I want, I can delete these 2. You don't have to do any of this. It just helps me, because I'm only taking 3 classes. Also, if it unhighlights and then you get here and it looks like there's nothing, it's like, where did everything go? You can just click any of the boxes in the calendar, or you can click this box again and highlight everything. So, I want this to be green, so I'm going to click on class 2, because the reds match, and I'm going to make this green. And now, my class is green. And just to remind me that this class is green, when if I am struggling with this formatting, then I'm just going to go here and change this to green. And finally, this is orange, and it's already orange. I like it orange. I'm going to keep it that way. So I've done this, and I have this, like, I have this stuff here, but I don't need to look at it anymore, right? That was just for the formatting. So I'm gonna do the same thing where I grab the column and then I drag. Let's say that I just do it down here. It doesn't do that, right? It just highlights these boxes. I wanted to highlight the entire column. So that's why I highlight from the that's why I click and drag from the letters. And I'm gonna right click. I can right click here, I can right click anywhere, but I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna click hide columns. And they're still doing what they need to do because that's what like all of this stuff is, to make sure this gets color coded. But now I don't have to see them. I just have this. You know, maybe I want to get rid of these blank columns too. I can do those, highlight, hide columns, and now I just have these empty ones on the side, right? And you might see here it says completed assignments for conditional formatting. What that means is that it's just another kind of thing working in the background. So if I go here and let's say I complete this David Ricardo reading, and I go here, oh, it's crossed out. It's done. Yay, exciting. And everything we just did here, I can do this again, right? I'm just gonna do the exact same thing with target dates because it's separate, so that's why you have to do it again, unfortunately. But look, we finished it, so that's why it says that it's done here too. Let's say I need to go to the next month. I don't have anything in the next month yet, so that's why it's just blank. But as you can see, like the 1st of October in 2025 is a Wednesday, so that's why it fills in like that. So I go to July, same kind of thing, right? It changes. So it is like a working calendar. Okay, and it highlights the day that it is in green. Today is the 6th. So the next thing is we've done all of these things, and I completed the assignment, but now it's in the middle, and I don't want to have to drag this all the way to the bottom every time. Let's say I complete like a bunch of assignments. I'm just really on top of things, I complete all of these, and I want them to go to the bottom, but I don't want to have to like drag all of them down. So I'm just gonna go here. There's a little arrow. Click that. Click sort sheet A to Z. Where'd they go? Down at the bottom. Let's say that for some reason I want them at the top. Sort sheet Z to A. Now they're at the top, right? So let's say that actually they're not complete. I'm just going to copy and paste this again, and this automatically reacts. So I can't actually click on any of these boxes, but that's fine because I just click complete here, and it does what it needs to do. Okay, so hopefully that covers everything you need to know. There's a weekly view here, so if you want to do that, just click view. Oh wait, sorry, not view. Data. Like I'm struggling too. Weekly view, and it just shows me the stuff from this week, right? I only have one thing for this week, and that's done on a Sunday through Saturday schedule. So today is Saturday, which is why only this thing is going to be highlighted, even though all of these things might be due in the next week. Like this stuff is due on Monday, but because it's Saturday, in the weekly view it's not going to show that. So that's just one thing to be aware of. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Reddit. Always happy to help. I can set up a meeting with you if you're really struggling. Hopefully this video helps out a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I know this was really helpful for me, building up a system like this. So if it can be helpful for you, that's all I want. Okay, bye-bye.